Like these anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Oh yeah, exactly. So Ben, how long have you actually been announcing for all the events around the St. Louis area?
Well, I first started ring announcing in 2010 with two companies in the city, MMWA and then SICW over in East Carondelet, Herb Simmons promotion. And from there, I just networked out, and I always wanted to work for WLW. WLW was actually the first independent wrestling event I had ever seen in person when Harley brought the company to the Shrine Mosque on Fifi Road in Maryland Heights in 2002. Man, that was an amazing card. Jeff Jarrett, Bret Hart, Harris Brothers. I think Haku was there. But Harley would always stack the special guests. Terry Funk came in a later event. And I was like, well, independent wrestling is amazing. Honestly, I was spoiled because I didn't realize that not every...
You realize you said a lot of Hall of Famers right there.
Yeah, and not every independent wrestling event has like a Bret the Hitman Hart speaking to the crowd about what they want to do with their life, inspirational speech in the ring. But in 2016, I did a one-off with WLW. I got to work with Harley, and then in 2018, I came on board whenever we started World League Wrestling Showdown, the new TV show. The current iteration, by the way, which I hear is approaching like 300 episodes, so that is awesome. Congrats to CT and you for Sarge for putting that together. It's been an amazing.
It's been
run.
a blast, my friend.
Yeah,
it really has.
So, and it's been a pleasure for me to come there and I don't mean this in a morbid way, but be Harley's final ring announcer because he's had plenty over the years, and they've been good. So yeah, that's my experience in wrestling.
Oh, nice.
Now
nice.
I'm here.
Now you're here.
So how are we looking, Sarge? What's the Facebook?
I am, I'm seeing some stuff going on the phone up there, and hello to everybody.
Hello.
But I'm trying to get it on the crazy tablet here so I can see the chat and everything, but it's not wanting to work for me. I'm having issues with this crazy technological stuff again.
Yes.
And if Superfan over there could look real quick on the Facebook feed just to make sure that it's up and going, and then we can jump into some other things going on.
I am still not seeing it on the Facebook feed.
Well, okay then. What we will do is we will keep going here on the radio side of things. I know YouTube is still going. And on our next break, which will be a couple of minutes long, we'll go ahead and restart that Facebook feed again. And we'll get it figured out one way or the other. Something else that is going on, and this is your cue here, Ben Simon. At the last event, we saw a situation come down between the deliverer Moses, as we've been talking about this morning, and his complete attitude turnaround. He had a confrontation with YouTube sensation Chris Danger, and you kind of had a front row seat to all of that out there.
Yeah, it was totally unnecessary. I mean, before the show, Leland Race came up to me and he said, I don't know if you know who Chris Danger is, but he is visiting us tonight. He's in the front row, and you got to give him a shout out. And I was like, that's great. I looked him up, and I can't believe I have missed the Chris Danger adventure that's been 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube. But Chris Danger is a YouTuber turned wrestler. He's still doing the YouTube stuff. But he hasn't wrestled locally here or anything, but he just wanted to come and check out World League Wrestling. And so, of course, I welcome him as one of our special guests that evening. And
you got a good pop, too.
Yeah, and people know who he is. And it's not... I didn't think anything else of it. And then later on in the night, Moses falls victim to a small package. And for a seasoned amateur wrestler like Moses, he doesn't take that well. And I don't blame him. He's got to get his head in the right spot. But he rolled out of the ring. He was frustrated. Instead of leaving, all he had to do was walk beyond the curtain. Moses turns around, and we had Chris Danger kind of seated at the walkway along the aisle, and he was just eating like a bag of
Chips.
Funyuns or chips or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, and he just enjoyed himself, and he was
Gummies. I think it was a bag of gummies.
Gummies, yeah.
Yeah.
And not even of the THC variety, and
That we know of.
yeah, no, and Chris Danger was. I don't know if he said something to Moses. I was right there. I didn't hear anything, but if he did, it was all in good fun. He's a YouTuber and a wrestler, but he's not working for us. He's not competing. He's beyond the barricade. Moses comes up and he didn't like how Chris was smiling at him or something, and he slapped the bag of snacks out of Chris Danger's hand, and thankfully nothing happened beyond that, because I was like, where's security, because this might blow up really quick, but no, Moses then realized maybe this is something he shouldn't do, and he walked to the back, and frankly it wasn't a good look for WLW and Moses. I mean, Chris Danger is our guest, and you talked to him later on, though.
Yeah, I did do an interview with him back there, and he was unsure of why Moses did what he did as well, but he basically said in no uncertain terms that, you know what, if the deliverer Moses wants some, he's definitely most ready to partake and give him some. So, with that being said, on Saturday, February the 7th, at Saturday Night Slam, once again, for the second month in a row, Chris Danger will be in attendance, and he will also address the situation with the deliverer Moses publicly.
Well, I like where this
And
is
we know the
going.
deliverer Moses is going to be in the house.
Yeah, I like where this is going.
Well, but Moses just has this big chip on his shoulder right now that he thinks he's better than everybody, doesn't need to work at it. He thinks he should be champion and get more and more title shots and not work his way up.
Well, he also believes that in no uncertain terms, and he has said this, that he shouldn't have to earn anything anymore, that he deserves everything.
You always have to keep earning.
Absolutely.
Unless you're getting special privileges, you're coming back to the ring as a Hall of Famer or something, you always have to keep earning your keep. This is a very competitive, cutthroat business at
For
all
sure.
levels, and especially and most definitely for the wrestlers. Moses, deep down, he knows this, and I don't know what's going on now. I think he needs us like a sports therapist, and that the sports therapist's name might be Chris Danger if he's not careful.
Whew. You know, I was looking at a video of Chris Danger's earlier this
Sports
morning.
psychologist is what I mean.
And, you know, and you may have seen this. This is from like maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something like this. You remember Maven, the wrestler Maven?
Yeah,
Maven
WWE,
Huffman.
Tough Enough. The
Tough
winner of
Enough.
Tough
The,
Enough.
the winner of Tough Enough. Apparently, he has also a YouTube podcast that he does, and God love him. The more the merrier, I say. But Chris Danger has a beef with Maven as well, because, you know, Maven was going through and ranking the YouTubers turned wrestlers. And at the top of that list was Logan Paul.
Right.
And on the bottom of that list was Chris Danger.
Okay. Well, look. I mean, this is
Well,
like
how long was the list?
Hey, Chris Danger has a champion or has won a championship belt. I don't know. I'm not sure if he still holds on to that championship belt right this moment. But the bottom line is he's won a championship. What has Maven done?
So this is a top 10 list, right, or something
A
like
top
that.
five.
It was a top
It was
five.
five.
Top
Oh my gosh. Okay, Chris Danger. Look, my interaction's been great with Chris Danger, but Chris Danger, you made the top 5 YouTuber turned wrestler list. I mean, I think that's pretty good.
Well, I found it kind of funny because towards the end of this video that he did, and it's only about like an 8-minute video or so, but or a short or clip or whatever you want to call it, he made reference to the producers for Maven, and he was like, well, maybe they just made a mistake and accidentally flipped it, because if you reflip it, then Logan Paul is at the bottom of that list, and Chris Danger is on the top of that list.
Well, I think it might be hard to argue against Logan Paul as the best YouTuber turned wrestler. Love him or hate him. I mean, look at the heights that he's achieved.
Man.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
to be honest, and I'll be honest about this.
He's been the
When-
United States champion.
He
I mean,
has
come
been.
on now.
Logan Paul, when he first started wrestling, when he first came over from YouTube, number one, I know it was just a numbers grab because he has like 23 to 25 million people that watch him on YouTube. All of his different things that he does. I wasn't really keen on Logan Paul at first. But you know, after the fourth or fifth match that he had, I was like, whoa, this guy's extremely athletic. He's done some things that a lot of people have not been able to do inside of that ring. The Royal Rumble from a couple of years ago, that major spot that he had with Ricochet, they're both jumping off the top rope and colliding in midair. We've never seen anything like that before in any kind of match.
Yeah. No, and here, my opinion of it all is a little less militant than most internet fans would say in the comments section. You know, The Rock, once upon a time, caught a lot of flack for leaving wrestling and going to Hollywood.
Mhm.
Well, here we have someone from YouTube, not leaving YouTube, but coming to wrestling to be more marketable, to make more money, to get the big contracts.
Mhm.
And I think that trickle, that stream going that way toward wrestling is a good thing. It will all filter out. If the YouTuber turned wrestler cannot get it done in the ring, they will take their losses and they will go home and it will be Snooki at WrestleMania 27. But make no mistake, Logan Paul is not Snooki at WrestleMania 27. Logan Paul is here to stay. Love him or hate him, because he can get the job done.
And now being a member of the Vision with Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Austin Theory, and Paul Heyman leading that group, wow.
What a super group.
What a super group.
Yeah.
Who can beat them, really? I mean, they put their minds to it. They're unstoppable, honestly.
yeah, each one of them would have its own belt and title and be able to carry it with pride and honor, if you ask me. And Heyman's going to lead all four of those gentlemen to a much better career.
For
I like the Vision, actually,
For
where
sure.
it's going.
100%. Real quick, from Mama Bear, Sherry Harley, we are back on the Facebook.
Okay.
So, hey, thank you for sticking with us. We appreciate each and every one of you that are coming back onto the Facebook side of things. Remember, you can jump in with any comments with the things that we are talking about this morning. We'd love to see them, and we will definitely share those. Still talking about World League Wrestling now. We've also got another event that's coming up at the end of February. On February the 28th, an event that you got to work last year for the first time.
Yes, I did.
Ben Simon. And, you know, what I am talking about is Salute to the Service 4 going on at the Davidson Fitness Center at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Tickets are on sale right now for that event. It's just like Race Wrestling Arena, folks. Get your tickets early because they are going fast. Ringside seats, which I am sure they are
Gone. Oh, yeah.
$25 and only $15 for general admission. Last year, I want to say we were up around about 1,000 to 1,100 folks up inside that fitness center last year. And every year, the numbers keep going up and keep going up. And with that, it keeps getting louder and louder and louder. And, you know, I got to ask you this, Ben, from last year. Because I've had this problem. And maybe you can help me with this. I can't hear myself think.
Yeah, the Davidson Fitness Center is a gymnasium and rec center on base at Fort Leonard Wood here in the state. I will say this. Yeah, it has. We've gotten over 1,000 people in attendance for that event. Last year it was 910. That was the largest crowd that I have announced in front of, and. But I want to tell the fans this. When you get your tickets, and right now the link on HarleyRace.com is unfortunately broken, but it's leonardwood.armymwr.com. And if you go to World League Wrestling's, if you go to World League Wrestling's social media, you will find the link to get your tickets for that Fort Leonard Wood event, Salute to the Service 4. But get there early and bring your ID. I want to tell you one more time. Get there early and bring your ID, because there have been people who cannot get on base. You will need to get on base. Bring your ID. Bring 2 forms of ID.
Mm-hmm.
Bring 3 forms of ID. Bring your pill bottles. Bring your prescriptions.
Wait, are you saying they should bring an ID?
Bring your ID. I'm not going to say much more except that last year there was a certain promoter.
He's going there,
this
folks.
Promoter had a little bit of a rough day because he could not get on base with 1 form of ID. He needed like a birth certificate or something.
I kind of helped him out with that situation.
You were the hero. You were the
Myself
hero.
and good old C.T. Harrison.
Yeah, no, it was a day, but it turned out great, and we can't wait to repeat there again. And a few things have already been announced for that event.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that because, at the last event, the Thoroughbreds, Talon Graves and the Natural Atlas Armstrong came out and laid out a challenge to All Day Aiden Riley and Superstar Steve Fender of the Devils of War, and made that challenge that to face them in the ring that night. And if the Thoroughbreds could pull off the win, they wanted a rematch for the tag team titles at Fort Leonard Wood Salute to the Service 4 on February 28th. And by golly, the Thoroughbreds came through and got that victory over the Devils of War. So they will be challenging for the NWA World League Tag Team Championships.
Yeah, and that's not all. I mean, that's a big match by itself. I mean, the Devils of
Well,
War
I'm going
is
to get
the
to all of
Thoroughbreds.
this, my friend.
Oh my
I've
gosh.
got it all here.
I cannot wait for that tag match.
At the last event, I did an interview with Austin Mulitalo, and we were talking about Salute to the Service 4. I believe it was in October, Ben, correct me if I'm wrong, when he faced off with the then NWA World League Heavyweight Champion, Carson Drake. And they went to a 15-minute time limit draw.
That might have been
Yeah.
October, yeah.
So with that being said, at the last event, Austin Mulitalo put out the challenge to Carson Drake for a match at Fort Leonard Wood Salute to the Service 4 on February 28th. And earlier this week, Carson
Absolutely.
Drake on Facebook, on World League Wrestling's Facebook page, answered that challenge and said to Austin Mulitalo, I accept your challenge, but you're not going to still be able to beat me.
Right. He was.
I can't wait for this match.
I don't think there should be a time limit on this match. If someone says 15-minute time limit, that it needs to be an hour, man. Give them an hour to see who's going to win.
I don't know if we've got an hour, my friend.
Give him 30. We'll
Give him
30?
Nice
All right.
compromise. Hardly anyone goes 30. Hey, can I ask you to do a special request?
Absolutely.
Can you give me your most sinister impersonation of Carson Drake's evil laugh?
I can't do it.
Tim, what about you?
Oh.
Oh my gosh! So I
And then
was
that doggone dance he does.
Right, the little.
yeah, I was curious about that one.
Good Lord.
Carson Drake had his response in the video that he records in his backyard. As always, it's a very, very scenic backyard.
Yes, it is.
There was snow, and it was very, very nice. And he did his laugh and everything. And it was a Facebook video that was just a little over a minute, I think, which meant that Facebook would automatically loop it. And I kind of had it on in the background. And finally, after about
Oh my.
5 minutes of hearing his laugh, which ends and starts the video, I was like, I have got to turn this off. I'm here in the other room. It's driving me crazy.
Where's my phone?
But Carson Drake, yes, has accepted
Yeah.
Austin Militalo's challenge.
And then also, coming to the Davidson Fitness Center at Fort Leonard Wood on February the 28th, the manager of champions, the NWA manager of champions, the one and only Aaron Stevens will be in attendance, as well as, I can't wait for this, Ben
Yeah.
Simon, the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, Silas Mason, will be in attendance and possibly in action there at the Davidson Fitness Center.
Now, the last time that we saw Thrillbilly Silas Mason in the St. Louis area, and I know that Fort Leonard Wood isn't St. Louis, but we are in the St. Louis area right now.
Mhm.
He was not the champion, and he
Right.
was up and coming. But this is a large man,
Yeah.
and he is a threat to deal with.
And a mean man.
Yeah, and he really, I mean, the first time I saw him was at the Chase, whenever we were doing NWA 73 or 74 perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Someone you don't necessarily think is going to become the heavyweight champion, but now he is, and I'm excited to see what happens, and I'd like to see him in action. Right now, I know he's not scheduled for a match yet, but he's just there representing the NWA, and I think it would behoove everyone to get him a match. We've got to get him in front of the crowd at Fort Leonard Wood.
And maybe you can remember, it was either 74 or 75. I was there at 73, worked the event 74 and 75.
In
You were
2021
there.
or 2022, yeah.
He won the NWA's national championship
Mhm.
there at one of the anniversary shows,
Right.
At the Chase.
Yeah.
And I mean, every match that I have ever seen Silas Mason in, Thrillbilly Silas Mason, member of the Southern Six, he has got a mean streak 1,000 miles wide.
Mhm.
You don't want to get on that guy's bad side. Holy moly. He will tear your head off.
And on the other side, the wrestlers in NWA World League are really, I imagine they've contacted management and they're looking to get a shot, maybe if not directly, then down the line at Thrillbilly Silas Mason, because that's the title that everyone in World League Wrestling wants, right above the Harley's crown, the WLW heavyweight title.
Mm-hmm.
So they want a shot at Thrillbilly Silas Mason. I'm curious who's going to come out. Hopefully we'll have some kind of eliminator situation where we determine who gets a shot. And I don't know, and by the way, I'm not saying that Thrillbilly Silas Mason is wrestling on February 28th. I have no information in that regard. He is not scheduled for a match. But it comes to mind. We need to see him in the ring. We want to see him in the ring. And we want one of our guys at World League Wrestling to get a shot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Speaking of that, we have seen superstar Steve Fender go for the NWA championship. We have seen the Legacy himself, Leland Reyes,
What a classic.
go for the championship when Nick Aldis was the champion. I believe that was Night of Champions 4
Yeah.
on that
In
event.
2019. Yeah, and it was, actually it was kind of bittersweet. At my job at the chess club, a fan came up and said, "Oh my gosh, remember the Night of Champions?" And I was like, "Yeah, that was great." And they're like, "What a great event for Harley's farewell." And I just stopped for a second. I said, "Well, that wasn't Harley's farewell." And then I was like, "It
It
kind of
was.
was in retrospect."
Yeah, I think it was the last event
I
that
mean,
we actually seen him at an event.
yeah, and it would, he might not have known it at the time, but in hindsight, it makes it even more of a classic wrestling moment.
For sure, 100%. And again, Fort Leonard Wood coming up on the 28th of February. Davidson Fitness Center. Get your tickets. $25 for ringside. I am sure that those are all gone. $15 for general admission. You said that HarleyRace.com was down at the moment?
No, HarleyRace.com is up and they're great, but if you go to the ticket page, like the link for that specific event, February 28th, is just a dead link. But if but the link is shared on social media. So if you go to World League Wrestling's Facebook or Twitter X, you're gonna find the link to that. It's Fort Leonard Wood website, the NWR website.
Very cool. Very, very
They
cool.
handle ticketing. But please, tickets are going, but you got to get your tickets. And the bell time, I think, is 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Please get there early. Bring 2 forms of ID. If you have questions, call somebody. There are people who are driving 2 hours for this event. You do not want to get there and be turned away. It
That's
will
right.
break your heart, and
Absolutely.
it will break our heart for you.
Bring your birth certificate just in case.
Don't be like our favorite wrestling promoter.
Bring your birth certificate just in case.
He had a wrestling ring on trailer and could not get in, you guys. This is serious business. Bring your IDs.
If you are a veteran and you've got your VA card, that will also work as a second form of ID. That's what I used last year, and so every year that we've gone down there. If your driver's license has that, I guess that yellow star for it to be a real ID, that will get you in automatically.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
You won't have to have any other form of ID. So several different ways to do it. Make sure you do it. And Mama Bear Sherry Harley in the chat saying, biggest and loudest show of the year. What a blast!
Yeah.
You know, biggest and loudest as far as crowd total, absolutely. I agree 100%. Now, there's argument that can be made that the anniversary shows are a bigger show for World League Wrestling. But when it comes to fan interaction and the loudness of it all, the Davidson Fitness Center is the place to be. And this year, it's February 28th.
The biggest, quote, show of the year can definitely morph and change every year.
For sure.
Some years we have Night of Champions, some years we don't. The anniversary event, the Door to Destiny Rumble, Fort Leonard Wood. Any given year, one of these could be the event of the year. So the best bet is to go to all of them.
Don't miss it. And here's another good idea to do. Go on YouTube, go to World League Wrestling's YouTube channel, get yourself caught up, if you're not, up on all the TV shows, Showdown, so that way when you get there, you know exactly what the heck is going on. Because I've had, I don't know about you, Ben, but last year and every year that we've been there, I've been asked by so many fans, what's going on? Why is this person facing that person? Why does this person have a beef with that person? And my mainstay answer is, well, why haven't you been watching Showdown?
Well, you can watch Showdown, and Showdown sometimes is on a little bit of a few week delay. But look, if you want to know what's going on, you got to keep up on the social media as well. Just get a little scroll from the last event. That's what I do to book up. Sometimes I kind of forget. There's so much that goes on, so I'll book up on Facebook or the other platforms, and we'll get you caught up. And that Showdown, that is linked every week right there on those platforms. You won't miss a thing. Join us.
Absolutely.
And something from being in the audience, we get more and more new people every event that goes on, which is awesome to see.
Absolutely. 100%. All right. Let's move on a little bit from WLW. And we're going to talk about the Royal Rumble and everything that happened about that in the second hour. But last night on AEW's Collision, a former WLW alumni in the Psycho Killer, Tommaso Ciampa, taking on
One half of them boys.
one half of them boys,
Mark Briscoe.
Mark Briscoe. What a Did you get to see that last night, Ben?
Yeah, I did,
Yeah.
and
Man.
I was all wrestled out after this
I
weekend.
know,
I was
right?
like, let me turn on Collision, one more wrestling event. My fiance is like, "Are you serious? More wrestling?" Yes.
It's our life.
Yeah, Mark Briscoe versus Tommaso Ciampa in the main event. It's Tommaso Ciampa's. I'm sorry, were you trying to go into break?
No, you're
okay.
fine.
Because
We've
I was
got
like,
about 4 minutes
I was about
before
to
we
roll
get
here.
out.
Tommaso
Yeah.
Ciampa, yes. We talked about his worldly wrestling connection, but Tommaso Ciampa, that's his debut match in AEW. I did not expect him to come in with the mindset that could lead him to defeat Mark Briscoe, who has been a strong TNT champion as in the past weeks and months. But Tommaso, with that running knee strike, took Mark's face clean off his head, and he got the pin. And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And everybody in Arlington was shocked, but in a good way. And they love both of these guys,
Yeah.
both Ciampa and Briscoe.
Mm-hmm.
And and Tony Schiavone, I believe, said an interesting little fact that there are only 2 wrestlers in AEW who have debuted to win a title in their first match.
Mm-hmm.
One is Mercedes Moné,
Yep.
and the other is Tommaso Ciampa.
Yep.
Very elite company there.
Very, very, very much so. How surprised were you to see Tommaso Ciampa show up on Wednesday night?
I was spoiled. I didn't get to see the event
Oh.
until like the next day, and I saw it on social media. But whenever I saw Tommaso appear, everybody was saying, "Oh, the Black Heart he's in AEW." Well, it was the logical next step. We had heard that his contract with WWE was up, and I guess his partner Johnny Gargano is going to go at it alone, and we've seen Gargano go at it alone on SmackDown recently.
Mhm.
And he's doing his thing, but I think this is a good move for Ciampa.
Were you surprised that there wasn't a 90-day no-compete clause for Tommaso Ciampa?
Well, I think there's not a 90-day no-compete clause whenever contracts are just allowed to expire, because like nothing was signed for the time.
Because I know some of the contracts they're actually put in there.
Right? Yeah, and it's
I was
not-
thinking maybe he was still working on his NXT contract that maybe he had. Because I know there's some NXT contracts where there's no 90-day compete clause with them.
Yeah, at least classically, the NXT non-competes were 30 days, and the main rosters were 90 days. But if there is a release, like a wrestler requesting their release or them getting released before their contract is up, I think that's when the no-compete kicks in. But if it just like straight up cleanly expires and everyone agrees, or one side agrees, not to renew it, then you could show up on Nitro the next night. To use an old term.
I think it was about 30 days
It
between the
seemed about
time that
right
he was
that it was
last
30
on
days.
SmackDown and when he showed up on AEW's Dynamite.
I was shocked. I didn't realize he.
I was
he
pleasantly shocked.
I was happy.
I
I
was
was happy to see it.
very
by,
much so.
by far.
But then, and we'll get into everything going on with Royal Rumble, but I got to say it real quick before we do go to top of the hour break. Powerhouse Hobbs leaving AEW, and it was an all of a sudden surprise type thing, and showing up at the Royal Rumble with the name Royce Keys now. Now, I know that Royce is his son's name, and that's cool. Take Royce's name. But I really wish he would have kept that Hobbs.
Yeah, he's always going to be
Call
Hobbs
himself
to me.
Royce Hobbs. But that's me. That's just me. Hey, we are coming up at the top of the hour. Now, when we come back again, we're going to jump into everything that happened with the Royal Rumble last night. A lot of awesome stuff. An awesome, great women's Rumble. An awesome men's Rumble. WWE Championship on the line. And a career on the line. Superfan Ben Simon, ring announcer extraordinaire here in the studio with us. And myself, Sergeant. We will be right back here in just a few minutes.
KYRO Troy. It's 11 o'clock in the Heartland.
News, I'm Jack Callahan. Tensions continue between the U.S. and Tehran as anti-government protests continue across Iran. President Trump aboard Air Force One saying talks continue with Tehran
what?
over
Yeah,
those
his last
protests
WWE
and the
match
country's
champion was
nuclear
December
capabilities,
15th.
which the U.S. military targeted in June of last year.
I didn't even see him. I didn't see him announce his release. I thought he was just
The U.S. has deployed military
taking time
strike
or
teams
whatever.
to the
But
region
then,
in the northeast,
like I said,
impacting several
when his
southeastern
music hit
states.
and I saw Psycho coming across there, I was
over several days.
no
Air
way.
Force here
you
in
did?
Charlotte,
So
Atlanta,
I read online
Charleston,
like
and
2
Raleigh
weeks
are
ago
getting
that
hit
he
hard right now, and travelers have been
his
dealing with this
contract,
for
it
2
was
weekends
being
in a
allowed
row.
to expire.
Sponsors Madison
So like I
Square
knew he was like a
America
free
is
agent for a
listening
really
to
short
Fox
time.
News.
But yeah, you didn't see that would have been a
No.
shock.
Oh, I
Because
was-
it still thinks that like he didn't on SmackDown.
Right, because when Briscoe said, "Hey, it can't be anybody from Don Callis' family," so immediately I'm going through the whole roster. You know, is it going to be someone from the Death Riders? And you know, I'm like, okay, maybe then we'll, then they'll bring Don Callis back in. And they're going to figure out some line with that. But whenever it went black and the word "cycle" came across, I was like, oh my god! And my wife, I popped whenever I was like. My wife was like, "What?" I was like, "Tommaso Ciampa's in AEW finally."
Yeah, that was cool.
I've been a big Ciampa person for a long time. You know, back in Ring of Honor is really where I started watching him. And I loved his work there. And I always felt he really showed something in NXT, but then when they moved him up, like so many times in WWE, they moved you up to the main roster and you just lose steam.
Yeah, he and Gargano became like kind of a secondary.
Yeah,
It's Giovanni, and this is the Fox Business
which I
Report.
never understood.
The major
You know.
averages ending lower on the last
Yeah,
trading day
I'm
of the month
harsh
after
on
President Trump
WWE right
nominated
now.
former Federal Reserve
Yeah,
Governor David Warsh
right.
as the
Yeah,
next
there's
Fed chair to replace
definitely
Jerome
good and bad.
Powell in May.
One thing I
Warsh
don't
has a
want,
hawkish record on
I'm not
interest rates, but
definitely
has
not a
recently
fanboy
voiced
of
support
companies
for
that follow
cuts,
too
which
much.
President
If-
Trump has
if, like,
aggressively campaigned
fanboy
for.
of anyone,
Gold
but,
and silver
yeah,
prices
I will
plunged
say
to their
that,
worst
like,
one-day decline
that
since
was definitely
1980
the
following a
moment.
series of
I
record
did not
highs. The
expect
Dow
it
down
doubling,
170 points, the Nasdaq
yeah,
lower
on
by
Collision because
223,
the show was kind
S&P
of like
500 down 30.
a
Earnings
little bit
season
of a
marches
throwaway.
on next week.
I mean,
Two more
no
Magnificent
shade
Seven
on Clark
tech
Connors,
companies,
but
Google,
like
Parent,
he's
Alphabet,
not
and
really
Amazon
anybody in
will
AEW yet, at
report
least.
following
I know
disappointing
his
results from
history, but I don't
Microsoft
think
that sent
most people
software
do.
stocks
And,
tumbling. Investors
it
are
was kind of
growing
like one-sided
increasingly
matches,
worried
but then
that
you know,
AI
we
could
had
upend
the
traditional
mixed tag
software
is fine with
business
Right.
models.
Orange
Central
and
Fox Business Report. I'm
and,
Hillary Barsky,
her citrus boy.
invested in you.
And then the main event, yeah, love it.
I was surprised that the girls were the main event
The Somali
versus
community and fraud in
Ciampa
Minnesota is
and
the tip of the iceberg. This stuff is going on.
It
not just
surprised
at
me
the
that
state
they
level,
were
but at the federal
halfway
level.
through the
The
show.
Congress
You
Spears
got
Aaron just
to
said,
get
if
the
we actually really cared and got our arms
championship.
around fraud, you could reduce or do away with
Now,
the income
I did like
tax.
the
Bolivia said
girls'
for
tag team
50%
main
of
event.
Americans. Why are we
You
okay
know,
with stealing
but
from the American taxpayer?
Personally, when you get somebody like
days a week
Ciampa,
at
he should be main event.
foxnewspodcasts.com or
So,
wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
you know, for a while there, that's what the collision was, that the TNT champion always main evented Collision.
There's a saying that goes,
So.
if your business doesn't have a sign, there's no sign of your business.
But it'll be interesting to see how
So Country State
everything
Line
plays out with
Designs
Ciampa.
does so much more than
If it's
just
gonna,
signs.
if he's gonna
That's
be more
the
than
main
Blackheart,
things, right?
or is he
Trying
gonna?
up the visibility of local businesses to
I don't know. I don't think he's going to be a Blackheart character type because of how he was in his interview last night with his daughter there and
This
everything
family.
like that.
Right.
And the way he was talking about the fans, like Ben was talking about earlier and stuff. I think he's going to be a major fan favorite moving forward.
Yeah.
Major fan favorite. And doing things, quote unquote, maybe not by the book all the time. He'll fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
For sure. But nothing like you were seeing in WWE.
Out and about in Troy, Missouri.
I'm excited.
Country State of
Kyle
Washington,
Fletcher
39
versus,
South Lincoln Drive.
Well, yeah, he kind of indirectly challenged him, right?
Yep. Yep, he came out on the stage. So yeah, that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. And you know what? I'm gonna lay money on it. They have a match soon. Tommaso Ciampa over.
Yeah.
Is that what we have? 45 seconds left.
No, we've got a minute and 15.
Oh, okay.
That's the actual time of the
Oh, the spot.
yeah, the spot right there. So we've got that, then a minute spot, minute commercial, 30 seconds.
So earlier when I got here, did all that crash? Is that why it was silent on there?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I really don't know what all happened there. In fact, we should be going live in about 45 seconds coming up. So I don't know. We'll see what happens here.
We'll see what. Yeah, right. We'll see what happens.
It's either in coming up in 30 seconds or it's going to be 3 minutes. It's one of the two. So if it is 3 minutes, and I think it is 3 minutes, we'll just keep talking because we are still live on Facebook and on YouTube as well. So, and again, guys and gals, if you have a question or a comment about anything that we're talking about, if you've got a question for Ben Simon, please throw it in the chat on both Facebook and YouTube. We'll see it and we'll address it. We'll address it.
I'm Erica Walters.
Oh, nope. Mics are going live. All right. Well, welcome back. Hour number 2, Uncensored Wrestling Talk. We are live inside the Gateway Fiber studio of News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO. And we're also live on our Facebook feeds, Uncensored Wrestling Talk's Facebook page, the radio station's Facebook page. You can find that at 1280 AM, 1280, 105.3 FM, KYRO. You know, also on YouTube now, all you got to do is search Uncensored Wrestling Talk and you'll see that. Plus all of our former, shows over the last month or so is on there now too. Plus a couple of shorts that HD Daniels has done and thrown up there. We also have a Twitter account, UW Talk, KYRO, and we're also on Discord now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Uncensored Wrestling Talk Show.
So every day that ends in Y, there is some sort of a wrestling event going on. And you know what? You can find us on there chit-chatting about everything that's happening right then and there. So, this morning we have been joined by St. Louis's ring announcer extraordinaire. He has taken that torch and has run with it. And, he has done such an amazing job over these last several years that I have known him and seen him doing the stuff. Of course, I am speaking about the one and only Mr. Ben Simon. And thank you again so much for coming in and being on the show this morning.
Well, Sarge, Phillips, Superfan Tim, I appreciate you guys having me so much. And thank you for the kind words.
All right, now it's time. We've got to talk about the Royal Rumble from last night. And, so many awesome things going on. Let me bring up my sheet here because I've got it all printed out.
I went to go see it at the movie theater.
Did you really? How was that experience?
It was a lot of fun, I would highly recommend, if you guys ever want to go see like a boxing or a wrestling event at a closed circuit movie theater, when that's offered, you should totally go. It's like $20, so it's more than a movie, but it's not like a movie atmosphere. It's kind of like being at a sports bar with, but you're in a movie theater. Like people are cheering. It's kind of like being there, So it was a lot of fun.
Where did you go watch it at?
I went to Ronnie's. That's the closest to me, in South County. Ronnie's usually does it. The former Wierenberg theaters, Marcus Theaters now, AMC Theaters typically do it. But Fandango. Ever since WWE's deal with ESPN started in September, they've been doing it at movie theaters.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like a best kept secret kind of thing. WWE doesn't really advertise it except one time on the SmackDown before the event. So I think it's kind of cool going to see a movie theater.
I think the next time that they have an event on a Saturday night where it's going to be at the movie theater like that, we should all get together and go and watch that sucker together.
Saturday afternoon, we might have other things to do. That was how it was with yesterday's Royal Rumble. But that sounds like a plan.
For sure. Speaking of the Royal Rumble, last night, before we jump into who won the Women's Rumble, the women's 30-woman Royal Rumble match kicked off Royal Rumble last night. And you know what? We have talked about this on the show quite a bit over the last 4, 5, or 6 months, Ben. The women have just been killing it. And I think, and we think, we've said this many times on the show, that the women have been doing a much better job than the men as a whole in the world of professional wrestling. And I think it's high time that things like the 30-woman Royal Rumble match should end the show, not start the show. What do you think?
Well, be careful with this one. I largely agree with you. I largely agree with you that the women have come into their own. I have a strange explanation for why I don't really like women's over-the-top rope battle royals or Royal Rumbles for that matter. And it is simply because they are too short to go over the top rope. Like, that sounds like a joke, but like the men, like I think to myself, I was like, why am I enjoying this men's rumble more? And it's simply because the women have to work so much harder to get their opponents over the top rope because they're shorter. And a lot of times this can lead to kind of convoluted looking eliminations, in my opinion. But I think maybe if you go over the second rope, you could be eliminated in a women's rumble.
Okay.
And I apologize if that sounds sexist to anyone, but it's height relative. I will say that. Look, not everyone is as tall as a Jade Cargill, but I thought that the
We're a Lash Legend.
yes, and boy,
Or a Nia Jax.
yes, and boy, did they all shine last night.
Whew.
And no, the women's rumble was very entertaining. My pick, Tiffy Stratton, she was one of
She had a
the
good showing.
very last ones. Of course, she was the last entrant as well, so she had that advantage. But it was good. I had always wondered, inevitably when Saudi would host a Royal Rumble, what a 30-woman Rumble would look like, where everyone's wearing a bodysuit. And you know what? I kind of forgot about it after a while. I'm not, excusing any kind of regime's behavior, but everyone had a good time for the match as it was. And I think they put on a good event. Didn't they main event in 2018 when they first had the first women's rumble?
I think so.
Yes, that was.
I think so.
I thought it was fine for what it is, but yeah, if the women's rumble, if they want to put it on last, I wouldn't have any problem with it. But it was a strong card.
It really
Four
was.
matches, and I you could see any one of them really being the main event.
For sure. 100%. But to your point, I'm going to counter it just a little bit here and see what you think about this comment. With him having to still go over that top rope and both feet hitting the floor, I think that with that type of thing still going on, it showcases their skills even more because they do have to work harder to get their opponent up over that top rope and down to the floor.
And you have to team up. There's more time.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes you do.
It's a valid way of looking at it. Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the women's, there was a lot of teaming up yesterday during the matches. All the groups teamed up together.
Oh, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
one of the reasons why I love the women's rumble was that 1 and 2, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, they come out, and I was talking to my brother-in-law, and I was like, look, everybody feels like they're forced to fight each other, when the Hardy Boys were number 1 and 2, they have to wrestle a little bit. But no.
They didn't touch each other.
they did, but it was like exhibition grappling. They weren't actually going to throw each other out. And I was like, wow, it made sense for once.
And
They're
it was
gonna
cool.
Wait till number 3 comes out and then beat that person up.
That's right.
Go team Charlotte and Lexi.
And with that being said, you are absolutely 100% correct. Charlotte Flair, number 1. Alexa Bliss, number 2. I'm going to run down the entrance real quick.
Oh, yeah.
And the numbers of how they came in. Kiana James coming in at number 3, and she held her own against both Charlotte
lasted a
and
long time.
Alexa. She lasted almost 30 minutes, 27 and a half minutes to be exact. Charlotte Flair lasting 59 minutes and 49 seconds, the longest time in the women's rumble from last night. Nia Jax coming in at number 5. Ivy Nile after her. Lola Vice from NXT showing up. Candice LeRae. Jordan Grace, and I was madder than a hornet last night when she was eliminated around about the number 15, 16 entrant coming in. I really hoped and felt like Jordan Grace could have won that Royal Rumble last night and should have won that Royal Rumble, but alas, she did not. Becky Lynch coming in after Jordan Grace. Sol Ruka from NXT coming in, and I thought that she had an absolutely spectacular, performance last night.
She might have been the star who did not win.
Yeah.
This was a
You might be
star-making
right.
performance from the Hawaiian Sol Ruka, who got in just about 3 or 4 versions of her finisher.
She did, and that was
Soul
amazing.
Snatcher.
Soul Snatcher,
I
right?
said that Charlotte Flair lasted 59 minutes and 49 seconds. The number 2 right after her was Sol Ruka at 50 minutes and 47 seconds. Wow. Just wow for her. Roxanne Perez of the Judgment Day coming in. Then it was Maxine Dupree, the former Women's Intercontinental Champion. Then directly after her was Natty, Natalia Neidhart. Your thoughts real quick, Ben Simon, on this storyline situation that we've got going on between Maxine Dupree and Natty.
Well, I haven't followed Raw in quite a while, but I did appreciate seeing Natty, and they said she's not Natalia anymore. She's business now. This is the fighter. This is Natty from the dungeon, and I got a glimpse of Natty last year at the Bloodsport event at WrestleMania weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And oh gosh, did she fight Marina Shafir? She definitely fought, and this was a Natty that few had seen, at least in a very long time. This was not Natalia from TV. And I was like, now Natty's on TV. She brought Natty to TV. And so I'm happy to see it because Natalia ran its course. What are we doing with Natalia, this former Divas champion? We want Natty. Put in the mouth guard and knuckle up because the woman from the dungeon is here. So Maxine Dupree, though, while I don't know what they have going on with each other, Maxine Dupree is vastly improved from the last time I saw her.
Very much so.
And she's not just a maximum model anymore.
That's right.
Agent. So she can go too. It was nice to see.
Well, last week before, something like that, on Monday Night Raw, Maxine Dupree had a match with Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental Championship, trying to win back the championship from Becky Lynch. And it was Natty who had came down with her, was in her corner, but she cost Maxine Dupree the win by putting Becky Lynch's leg on the rope when she was covering her and would have gotten the 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
So then after that, after Maxine had lost the match, Natty gets into the ring and just starts doing a number on Maxine Dupree, just beating her up left and right. And when that was going on, I was like, oh my goodness, we are getting the quote-unquote real Natty now. The Natty from the dungeon, as you were talking about just a few moments ago.
The dangerous woman we forgot about.
That's right. And in my mind, Natty should have been already by now a 2 or 3 or more time women's champion. From if I remember correctly, she's only won the SmackDown championship one time.
Yeah, with the designations of those titles and the renaming and all that, it's sometimes hard to remember. But yeah, she's been the world champ for sure.
But you also wonder, is this her kind of swan song? Is she looking for a retirement too? Because she's been around for a while.
She's been around for a while, but you know what? There's been a lot of, I don't want to call it time off, but there's been a lot of time between her matches that she had been having in the WWE. And then, she went and did some indie stuff over this last year. The WWE allowed her to go do all that. Wrestled in some NWA matches as well as going down to AAA and doing some stuff down there, and she's been killing it.
Right.
She's absolutely been killing it. And so, it may not happen in the next couple of months or so, but I want to see at least by SummerSlam. We're in January right now. SummerSlam is in August. I want to see by SummerSlam Natty fighting for a world championship.
Yeah.
I think that she deserves it. We throw that word pretty. We throw that as fans. We throw it around a lot.
Yeah.
To a lot of people, but she is truly one of those ones that absolutely deserves to be in matches, high profile matches like that, time after time after time, and that's my opinion. I don't know how you guys think, but that's
No,
my
I agree.
opinion.
I agree.
Then after Natty, we had Liv Morgan coming in, Lash Legend, who lasted over 38 minutes, and I think that she's also one of those ones that she's a force to be reckoned with.
Yes, most improved wrestler perhaps in the entire field if you compare maybe the last couple of years to today, and one of the most dominant.
For sure.
I mean, it was too bad that Nia Jax had already been eliminated by the time Lash Legend came in. But had those two been in the ring, I think one of those two would be standing out as champion.
Absolutely. Zelina, who's now kind of been valeting, managing, coming down to the ring with her husband Aleister Black. She was number 16. Raquel Rodriguez, another member of the Judgment Day, showing up. Chelsea Green jumping in there. Julia, who is now the United States Women's Champion, she's coming in at number 19. Io Sky, one half of the Women's Tag Team Championships. Asuka, who she's had a lot of issues with over the last several months, coming in directly after her. And then Io's Tag Team Champion, a partner champion, Rhea Ripley, H.D. Daniels' favorite female in the WWE, coming in at number 22. Bayley coming in at number 23. And then and it didn't shock me. I knew that I had a feeling that she was going to show up somewhere, but for almost 16 minutes and 11 seconds, the NXT Women's Champion, Jacy Jayne, showed up, and I thought that she had a tremendous showing at the Royal Rumble as well.
Yeah, I was happy to see Jacy Jayne. She came in there and she showed why she was the NXT champion. I mean, she was laying down people and she was holding her own with everybody that was already in there.
For sure. Then directly after her, at number 25, from Raw, Hall of Famer, Nikki Bella comes in, and she had a good 14 minutes in this match. Lyra Valkyria, partner of Bayley, comes in. NXT's Kalani Jordan, I thought that she did pretty well the time that she was able to last in the Women's Royal Rumble. Kairi Sane, Asuka's tag team partner.
Right.
Man, poor Kairi Sane is about to get it from Asuka. Whew, she's been yelling at Kairi Sane over the last 6 months or so. Just yelling her name out whenever she's standing there trying to have a conversation with someone. She kind of made her turn on Io Sky as well a couple of months ago. They held the Women's Tag Team Championships until just recently. There's some stuff brewing between them two.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that it was really Kairi's fault that Asuka got eliminated.
Well, I mean, it was Kairi Sane that eliminated her, but it was by accident.
Right.
Let's throw that out there.
But Asuka's not going to look like it was.
No, she's not going to.
She was
What did you
unhappy.
think when you saw that happen?
Well, Asuka was pretty upset immediately after the fact.
Yeah.
I think she grabbed Kyrie it was Kyrie, right?
Yeah.
Grabbed Kyrie by the hair, right there at ringside. So, yeah, obviously not upset. We'll see if this boils over or if cooler heads prevail.
And then another Hall of Famer making her return. Not sure if this is going to be a one-off or if she's going to be around for a little bit. But Nikki Bella's twin sister, Brie Bella, shows back up.
So, I'm going to give a shout out to my wife because she noticed when Nikki came out, she had a 2 on the back of her shirt.
Sure.
And then whenever Brie came out, she had 1. So, my wife actually caught on to it that the 2 twins would probably be together.
The original Bella, back for maybe one night only.
Right.
Hey, Tim, you seem like you are a Total Divas type of guy. Have you ever watched that show on E back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Me too.
absolutely.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Total
Okay.
Divas, yeah.
Okay, I thought I was giving you some trouble, but I love that we are in a room and all 3 of us have closely followed Total Divas,
Absolutely.
and that matters because every time Brie Bella's song hits, Brie Mode, I laugh so hard because that's just what she called it when she would get hammered and out of
Right.
control out
Yeah.
in the town and be like, whoa, and cause a scene, and they turned it into this kid-friendly song and saying called Brie Mode. They're putting Brie Mode on little kids' hats.
But we
and
know
shirts.
what it means.
Right.
Brie Mode has a problem. No, it was fun to see her too.
I hope that it's not a one-off. I hope that she is going to be back for a little while and do some tag teaming with her sister Nikki. I would love to see for them to go after those women's tag team championships, to be quite honest about it. But also, I mean, Nikki has her eyes set on becoming a world champion. So
Right.
we'll see what happens. Maybe Brie can come down and be in her corner. But we've seen Nikki in the past turn on her sister as well. I just hope that doesn't happen in this iteration.
No, it shouldn't happen. If they do that, then Triple H, you really need your head checked.
Whew. And then number 30, as you mentioned earlier, Ben Simon, Tiffany Stratton coming in, making her return to WWE after a little bit of a time off. Man, she looks good.
Yeah.
She looked great in the ring.
I was happy to see Tiffy Time come back.
And of course, your winner that lasted 43 minutes and 50 seconds after she came in at number 14, the one and only Liv Morgan.
Yeah, I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I said that's who's going to win to you.
But during that night, during that Women's Rumble, she eliminated her Judgment Day partner,
Absolutely.
Raquel Rodriguez. Ooh, that storm might be brewing too now.
Right. I think when it came down to it, only one of the Judgment Day women could come out on top, and I think Liv being on top, and she's done well in the Rumbles over the last few years. She deserved it. I was happy to see that she won.
Absolutely.
Though I was surprised one thing. I thought for sure Bianca Belair would have showed up last night.
I was a little surprised that she didn't show up. Maybe she's still dealing with that injury,
Right.
rehabbing and all that kind of thing. She may not be ready. That's all.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick break because we're a little bit past taking our first break for the first hour. But I want to talk about Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill and Jordan Grace as well, because after last night, we're on the road to WrestleMania now.
Right.
And so that women's picture is starting to get really strong as who's going to be facing Jade Cargill at WrestleMania 42. It's going to be interesting. And we'll talk about all that coming up here in just a few moments. In fact, in 59 seconds, right after this.
Award-winning severe weather coverage when it counts. 24/7 from News Radio 105.3, 1280 AM. Powered by the Quiver River Electric Cooperative, a Touchstone Energy Cooperative. Depend on it.
Game day starts before kickoff. Get ready for the big game with help from Menards. Find great deals on.
So you're assuming that Liv's not going to go against Jade, huh?
All game long. Score big savings. and
'Cause
stock
Liv's
up
still
on game day goodies.
She's going to
No.
pick, and they were hinting that Liv was going to go
To keep your
towards the
party
SmackDown side.
I
So
don't know.
Raquel could
That was on the post show.
Part of your
But
game plan.
I don't know.
Shop in store
I don't know.
at Menards.com
Oh, interesting.
and
I did not
save
see the post
big
show.
money.
I'm not so sure.
I would have thought, because it's all raw, but yeah, they were
Join us for the News Radio KYRO
But
Sports
remember,
Lunch from the Old Monroe Lumber
Batista
Company at CN79
for
in Old
WrestleMania
Monroe
21
and
was
online at
supposed to
onlumber.com on your home
JBL.
for the Chiefs,
Right.
Blues,
Instead of
Mizzou, Minnesota,
coming after
News
you.
Radio KYRO.
And we are back live inside the Gateway Fiber studio. I was waiting to see if I could catch it. We are back live here on Uncensored Wrestling Talk. I am Sarge. He is the super fan. He's the nematode Nene, Tim Williams. And of course, our special guest this morning, the one and only ring-announcer extraordinaire, Mr. Ben Simon in the studio.
Pleasure to be here.
We're also still live on Facebook, as far as I know. And also on YouTube
Yep, it's
as
still
well.
running on YouTube.
And in fact, I see several people watching on Facebook, so it looked like that, we are still going. We did have some technical issues earlier, but things happen sometimes. No control over that. But we got to back up. We're going. We're running with this. When we left, I was going to say that when we came back, we were going to talk about something here. And that is the Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, Jordynne Grace thing. I'd much rather see a Bianca Belair feud with Jade Cargill before we see this Jordynne Grace versus Jade Cargill thing going on. What do you think?
To me, if you're going for money and ratings, you got to make that WrestleMania to have Jade versus Bianca.
I mean, we've still got, 3 months?
Yeah.
2.5 months
But
before
everybody's
WrestleMania.
been clamoring about this match for 2
But if
years
Bianca
now.
Belair is not ready, if she's not ready, she's not ready.
Right.
You've got to be
Then
able
you have
to
to push
switch
it all the way to
gears.
SummerSlam.
Well, it might. But my thing with Jordynne Grace is, and Ben, help me out here. Maybe you can talk some sense about this. Maybe you can figure this thing out. Jordynne Grace just got called up from NXT to the main roster, and gets thrown into a program with the women's champion pretty much right off the bat, with things going on between her and Jade Cargill. What's her real chances of winning this women's championship from Jade Cargill that really basically has only had a couple of defenses of it and just won it just recently?
It's a real toss-up. I mean, if you ask Jordynne Grace, she is going to be very confident. I mean, she's a 15-year pro veteran. I mean, I remember seeing her back at East Carondelet in 2011. She was visiting Herb Simmons' promotion. She transformed her mind. She transformed her body. She is an elite athlete, and that is not trademarked by any one wrestling company. She is an elite athlete, and she knows she can beat Jade. Jade has only been in the wrestling business for 5 years or so.
Roughly.
And at the very beginning, she was not that active.
No.
She came around very quickly, and if you ask Jade, she knows she can beat Jordynne Grace. Two supremely confident ladies. Two women who are equally able to be the real, I'll say the real women's world champion. All respect to that here. And Jade is the real world champion right now, and she seems unbeatable. But right, it's only been a short while. It's kind of like when Goldberg won the World Heavyweight Championship in 1998, and he'd only held it for a night. But you think, who can beat this guy? Well, who can beat this gal in Jade Cargill? I'd love to see it. Bianca Belair, I can't even think about her right now.
Mhm.
She's MIA, and
Exactly.
best wishes to her. We don't know what she's dealing with,
Absolutely.
if she'll even be back. But I love Bianca Belair, and watching her in the ring, and it will be a treat when she gets the winner eventually, hopefully. But Jade Cargill versus Jordynne Grace, let's have it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to put you on the spot. Jordynne Grace versus Jade Cargill. Who wins in this women's championship match that they're eventually going to have?
It's close. Jade Cargill.
See, that's exactly what
Unfortunately,
I'm
that's-
pointing towards too.
Yeah.
And I hate that for Jordynne Grace, because I believe that she's another one. And we've talked about this quite a bit over the last several months. She should have been called up for the main roster a long time ago. A long time ago. Maybe, in fact, in my humble opinion, I think she should have just been put straight into the main roster instead of going to NXT for the simple fact, just like you just said a few moments ago, she's a 15-year veteran. She knows what she's doing inside of inside that squared circle. She does.
Yeah.
She's a former TNA, several time TNA Women's Knockouts champion.
She should have been called back up, especially when Roxanne Perez got called up to the main roster. Those were the two that should have came up. Way before Julia or women's champion Stephanie McCurry.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I agree.
she's there now.
She's there now. Thank God.
Yeah,
Thank God.
she's there now, and
That's all
hopefully
I've
they
gotta
don't
say.
treat her the same way they did in NXT.
Hey, real quick, from the Facebook chat, Trisha McGarry Williams saying, good morning and yeet to all. Well, a yeet right back to you. Thank you so much for joining us this
Good
morning.
morning.
And absent, what's that saying? Conspicuous with his absence?
Conspicuous by his absence.
HD Daniels has not shown up yet in the Facebook chat. I don't know if he's
I
showing up in
haven't
the
seen him.
YouTube.
He's asleep.
He probably is.
Yeah.
He probably did go back to
He
bed.
said family time. Yeah, okay. It's more like nap time.
He's probably got one kid on one side and one kid on the other.
We gonna talk about the men's rumble? I don't want to.
Yes,
I'm
we will.
excited.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
We're going to talk about everything.
I'm not trying to deviate.
We're talking
No.
about everything.
He gets mad at me when I try to deviate.
I'm sorry.
No,
I
you're
know
fine.
that.
Oh,
A
he's
guest-
okay, but I'm not.
A guest is different.
I just got
You as the
excited.
co-host know how I operate. The guest doesn't.
I don't.
That's okay.
I don't have to run a show.
Gunther taking on, I'm going in chronological order,
Yeah.
so that way you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Gunther
jump
taking
around.
on AJ Styles in a career-threatening match. If AJ lost, his WWE career would be done and over. And I gotta be honest, I was madder than a hornet
I was-
last night.
I
I
was
threw my
angry.
remote. I was that
Uh-huh.
upset.
Yeah. I don't understand because there's so it's AJ was saying I've got one more year left in me. He's still in great shape and he wants to go out in good shape and be able to perform. And what they did last night to me was atrocious.
The match was an amazing
I
match,
thought it was
though. What an amazing match between these
Oh.
two dudes. Now Gunther can say he's retired Goldberg. He's retired John Cena. He's retired AJ Styles, and all three in the same fashion.
Yep.
Wow. Gunther, he's on a roll.
Oh yeah.
If you've got a long career behind you, you better learn from other people's mistakes. And those mistakes are, do not put your career on the line if you're going to get into the ring to face against Gunther. Because he will do whatever it takes to end you. Ben?
Young people have a new saying that this is cinema. Well, not everything is cinema, and the Rocky moment doesn't always happen, and it almost never happens with Gunther. This match, when it was made, I knew it was over for
Yep.
AJ.
Yep.
Because Gunther is too strong right now, and AJ is past his prime. I was still hoping he would break out the spiral tap and the Styles clash and get Gunther in the calf crusher. But he was really up against the odds. I would say that Gunther was a 95% favorite in this one. And there were a lot of people shocked that AJ Styles had his final match in Riyadh.
Yeah.
Well, also who had their final match in Saudi Arabia was Kane and The Undertaker in person.
Yeah.
And Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
Money talks, and
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're getting a few mil for a payday, maybe you're okay with going out on top, because there's a popular sentiment in pro wrestling. When you are a professional wrestler, your metric of success is how much money you make, and it may not matter to you if it's blood money or regular non-blood money. It's still green, and all the best to AJ Styles, who was choked out by Gunther. He tried to get out, he passed out, and that was that. There was
that.
no 3-arm up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
It was simply he was out. And this was going to be the case, and if AJ wasn't ready to retire, he should not have taken on
That's
this
right.
wall of a man.
That's right. Absolutely, 100%. I agree with you totally. Now, after everything was said and done with last night, after he had lost that match, the rumor mills have been going like crazy that while he is done in the WWE, and I believe his actual contract ends at some point in February, and it is February the 1st now, so it could have been today, it might be next week, it might be at the end of the month, not sure. But the rumors now are saying that he might be done in WWE, but he's not done as a wrestling performer.
Well, I would be surprised if he came back to another company. The verbiage to me was clear. It wasn't WWE career is over, he is done as a wrestler. He will retire from wrestling. And so I think it's wishful thinking. But, never say never, right?
Right. Well, he didn't take off his boots. He didn't put down his gloves, and
He was about to put his gloves down, but then he put them back on and
Right.
did a little bit more showboating for the fans, and then got out and walked off. So, and the rumors, the strong rumors right now, are that at some point he's going to show up in TNA, at some point he's going to show up in AEW, and at some point he's going to show up overseas in New Japan, in JPW. So time will tell if we see. Ben Simon, would you be disappointed if AJ Styles mixes it up a few more times for some other promotions?
Look, a man has his word, but also it's wrestling, and it's a free country. And Ric Flair came out of retirement in 2022 for one last match. Anything is possible.
22,
That man came out
23,
so many times it wasn't
24,
even
funny.
25.
Thank God 22, I think, really was the last time. But no.
What number WrestleMania was that he retired at with
he
Shawn
retired-
Michaels? 24,
so,
right?
WrestleMania 24 in 2008 in Orlando.
And then 2 years later, he was back at it in TNA.
The next year,
Yeah,
he
it was
was
the
back
next
in
year.
Australia with Hogan.
That's
they did
right.
a 4-event
I forgot
run,
about that.
which was not good. But the Australian
No.
people liked seeing both of them.
Sure.
And then they both had contracts in TNA, and Flair did a few things there in the ring. But 2022, Ric Flair's last match was on in-demand pay-per-view. Conrad Thompson put it on, and it was a fun event. I mean, Flair almost died apparently on the apron, but he didn't. So
Yeah.
everything turned out
I
fine.
saw that. It was horrific.
I was there, and I just thought he was resting. You don't know when I guess when a guy is in their 70s and they're resting on the apron, you don't know what's happening. But no, if AJ wants to wrestle somewhere else, it's his choice. But I think we'll never believe him again if he says he's going to retire.
This is true.
Right.
Just like we didn't believe anybody else after they said that they were retiring and came back again.
I always believed the first time, but
Yeah. Hey, real quick before we take our very last break here on Uncensored Wrestling Talk, the UWT champion, the Uncensored Wrestling Talk champion, the one and only Captain Freedom, Josh Mudd, says, Ben is so bossy.
bossy.
And then also Mama Sherry Harley, Mama Bear, says, I wanted more of AJ Styles. I agree. I would have liked to have seen him at least go until SummerSlam, personally.
We all wanted to see more AJ Styles, but he should have taken on the brick wall later in the year.
See,
Very
I
true.
thought he was going to win just so that they could do the final match where Gunther retires.
No one's beating Gunther.
All right, we've got about 15 minutes left of the show here on the radio side of things. We're going to take our last break, and when we come back, the WWE Championship is on the line between Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn, and we'll talk about it right after this.
Trust the professionals at Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions. Buying or selling, they'll make your dreams come true. Here's farm auction and acreage expert Dan Stokes.
You know, Meyer & Company's been in the business for over 40 years.
As usual, the time has gone by so doggone fast.
It did surprise me when
exchange farm ground for other farm ground.
I
So
would
something we do on a
I
daily
would have
basis.
loved that.
We really enjoy it.
Like
I
he
mean,
said,
we are the
when
number
as soon
one
as
stop
they
in the
announced the
region
match,
for
it was
real
like,
estate.
Yeah,
I guess that was
Real
over.
estate. We've
Yeah.
been serving the area for more than 40
It's
years,
over.
and we do it with pride.
Because I wouldn't think that he would have done it in real.
Dollars per acre is still
But
high.
now
If
you
you're
bring
able
up
to
the
connect
other
with a good
people,
agent,
yeah.
you can find something off market. We do that
I
all
mean,
the time. and
like
you
he
know
was
we're able to
saying,
still
though,
get
when
something
they
out
do
there.
those shows over there in
Dan
Saudi
Stokes.
Arabia,
You can either
they're
call my
getting
cell phone
an
at
exorbitant
314-971-0654,
of money.
or you can call
Right.
They're getting that
brokerage
right.
at
Even the women.
636-462-5555.
Even the women.
Meyer &
So,
Company Real Estate and Auctions,
wife
North
apparently
London
was
Drive in
right.
Troy, 636-462-5555. Online at MeyerListings.com.
Hey everybody, it's the
view this
Burgundy. Today we're at
WrestleMania
Alternative
maybe the last
Automotive, and
one
we're
of
with
the
Jerry
foreseeable future.
Hinkie. Jerry is kind of a
That sounds
YouTube and
crazy, and I
Facebook
hope
star
I'm wrong,
because
but
he
why
does
would
these
they ever
very informative
not have it
videos that he
in
puts
Riyadh?
on
Again,
social
as long as
media.
the
Jerry,
Saudi
one of the
family
things that hit me,
Right.
it's the
What
holidays.
they
We
took
forget about doing
2
things. One
months
of the
to
most
build the
important things
stadium?
that they can do to
A
live
month?
the life of their
Yeah,
cars.
so are they-
Keep the
are they
oil
on the
change.
backs of
Absolutely.
the
Maintenance
Ford
is the most
later-
important thing you can do.
But are they going to turn around
You don't
and
change
put
your
this
oil,
thing
change
out
engine for you,
for
but as
WrestleMania
long as
next
you
year?
change
Are
your
they
oil.
gonna-
Why is it so important?
Who
It
knows?
goes down over
Who
time.
knows?
Gas
Right.
engine
Put it back up
has
again.
low volume, it
It's
goes
like-
It might
down
happen in
range,
that
so the
old
explosion
stadium that
happens
they were
inside
at the
these,
last
and
time that
particles
they
go
were
down in your
Crown
oil, and
Jewels.
oil does two
Right.
things.
Who
It
knows?
lubricates,
Who
and
knows
it
what's
absorbs
coming?
carbon. Carbon builds up in the oil. If
50
you have more
seconds.
carbon than you do lubrication properties, it's just going to start eating the metal products it's protecting.
Alternative
Automotive, located at 542 Mansion Road, Winfield, just a short
But
drive
this
from
is like
everywhere.
that on
Keep your car healthy. Bring it to Alternative
Big
Automotive
time.
today.
Big
542 Mansion Road, or call 368-8267. Give
What
them
I
a
was
like on
reading,
Facebook.
Hey
it
y'all, it's
costs like
Cody Archie from
$15
Bar
million.
7 Ranch, Can-Am
$20 million.
Ambassador here. It's been 20 years of 365 showing up each day with our Defender. We've got one
Watch
ranch
one of
that
these
keeps
days it'll
growing,
come out how many
2
people like
herds, a
fell off
pile
a
of
ledge and
chickens,
died.
22 side hustles, and 62
Like Billy the freaking
DIY
Hoover game.
projects
I'm like,
every
oh,
week.
50 people
That means
fell with it.
4,160 late nights and early mornings spent in our Defender.
I'm gonna bring
the most
something up.
refined side-by-side yet.
On this
Check out
next
the
break, I'm
unstoppable
gonna see
Can-Am
if you guys
Defender at a
notice
dealer near
this
you,
or not, because
and keep ranching.
I'm a person of detail. I pay attention to details, and I noticed something very wild last night.
Overcast clouds
I'm
and
gonna see if
flowing.
you guys noticed
Getting down to
it.
6 overnight tonight.
As far as
Monday's
cloud
high will be in the upper
wise.
30s. Scattered
Okay.
clouds likely.
I love details.
Temperatures in the mid-30s forecast on Tuesday. Currently in Troy, it's 19.
10
In
seconds.
Wentzville, it's 19 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate, or farm ground? Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions. Online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
Mics are going live. Let's go ahead and pipe down that bumper music because we've only got about 11 and a half minutes left here on the radio side of things. When we get done at the top of the hour, you know, switch over. If you're listening on the radio, switch over to Facebook, switch over to YouTube so you can see and listen and interact with us for the last parts of our show this morning. Of course, I am Sarge in the studio with me, the one and only, the super fan, Tim Williams, and our special guest is Mr. Ben Simon, St. Louis's own ring announcer extraordinaire. And I'm ticked off that one of the major promotions hasn't snatched you.
Well, me too. Maybe I'm too
What the hell are
bossy.
they thinking?
You're too bossy?
Too bossy. I don't like working with them.
Drew McIntyre going up against Sami Zayn. And, you know, a couple of weeks ago, when we were last here on the show, we didn't have the show last weekend because of the weather, but we had said, and we had made a prediction, that Sami Zayn was going to win that four-way on Saturday night's main event, which he ended up doing. He hit that haluva kick on Damian Priest, getting the win, and a well-fought win, in that. Not saying he doesn't deserve to be in these matches, one little bit. But as soon as we said that we predicted Sami Zayn to win that fatal four-way, he would lose against Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble. Beforehand, he had faced Drew McIntyre 11 different times, and he had lost 11 different times. This one being number 12 as far as match numbers go. And unfortunately, number 12 was not the lucky number.
Nope.
For Sami Zayn.
Nope. Of the 4 matches, that was the one match I was like, halfway through, whenever he hurt his back, I was like, just end it. We know what's going to happen. Yeah, the crowd's going to be upset because that's their person that they really cheer. But I was like, okay, let's get to the men's Royal Rumble.
During the break, I was telling the guys here in the studio that I had noticed something during this match. I'm a type of person, Ben, that, and I think that you might be along these kind of lines too, where if you're watching an event on TV, if you're at an event live, you try to take in everything that's going on. Not just in the ring, not just the action going on inside and outside the ring, but what's going on in the crowd, what they're chanting, all that kind of stuff, to get that feel, that electrical feel when we watch wrestling.
Yeah.
I noticed during this match, and go back and see this, because there were several different angles. You had the fans on the floor, and then you had the high-rise seats that went all pretty much in a horseshoe around the ring there. The stands looked empty.
Yep.
So
I don't know if it was the lights that they put on the back of the chairs.
Exactly.
But that's all you saw, really. You didn't
because you would see a light, and then right next to him, a person sitting in the next chair.
Right.
That there would have been a light behind that person.
Yeah.
It was extremely empty in those upper areas, and I say upper areas, but there was the floor and then just one lower bowl that went around, and when they were showing different camera angles of all the different areas, it didn't look like no 25,000 people were there.
Right.
There's a few things at play here, and I don't know definitively, but I did point that out as well when I was watching it. So if you watched SmackDown the night before, they opened the show by saying, a late arriving crowd here in Riyadh. And it was very visibly empty. You could see the seats. Now, at the Royal Rumble, which began at 10 p.m. Riyadh time, it did look pretty empty, and they had the lights that were the decorative lights that were on posts in between the seats. So that made it look empty, but it did also look empty. It filled out later on in the night, but maybe not to the magnitude that a seating chart would allow you to believe the tickets were sold. So did scalpers gobble up tickets prematurely to this event?
Good question.
That is one point. Did the Saudis arrive late? That is another point. Did the lights make it look emptier? That's yet another point. And I think on top of that, those lights, maybe production toned down the use of them later on in the event. I noticed them less. And that might be because it made it look emptier. But yeah, I think a lot of it was
because I noticed during the men's rumble with those same TV angles that they were doing and showing, those areas that had those lights in were completely filled up with fans sitting in those seats. It looked like it was completely packed to the hilt during that men's rumble.
Who knows the ticket behavior of the locals there? I mean, it reminded me of like a boxing event where no one shows up for the undercard and they just want to see the main event, which is not so much how wrestling is booked, but that could be how the fans think locally. I'm really not sure. There's a lot of debate up on up on this, and frankly, if anyone on Twitter says they know all the answers, I don't think they do. So I'm walking softly on this one. But yeah, it was an interesting visual, for sure.
Very, very interesting. I just hope that for next year's WrestleMania, because next year's WrestleMania, unfortunately, will be in Saudi Arabia. Hey, I'm biased. I want it here in the States.
Yes.
But I hope wherever they end up having this WrestleMania, whether it be at this same place that they just built, add more to it, whatever they do, put it in the old building or old stadium that they were at for the last couple of Crown Jewels and all that kind of sort of thing, that
none of those
people
are
show
big,
up.
by the way. None of their
Not
venues
really.
are big.
Right.
I mean, this temporary stadium is the largest of them. And if they said it was 25,000, I mean...
Well, that floor area of that previous stadium, they can get a lot of people on that floor, which they have. They had that last event that they had, the Crown Jewel, the last Crown Jewel that they had there. That floor was completely filled up. The stands were completely filled up. It was packed to the hilt. It really was. Comparing to the first couple of times when they were in Saudi, it wasn't packed to. It was a lot of space between chairs and stuff.
Well, that makes me wonder: are they going to build on this and enclose it? And but it was nice to see. If you looked over the jumbotron that they had there, you could see the skyline of Riyadh, which I thought was pretty cool.
That was cool. And after the show was over with, they did this humongous fireworks display that was going on that lasted like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. Well, however long it was, it felt like an eternity. And that was cool. But you can do that somewhere else.
Yeah.
And have it just as good. So I personally don't like it being over in Saudi Arabia. Not these big events.
Yeah.
Not like this. You want to put the money in the bank over there? Fine. You want to put, I don't know,
Elimination
one of your regular...
Chamber could be over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're a fact check on me, Sarge. You're right. Kingdom Arena, it does hold 5,000 more than this temporary stadium,
but it's not
still
much.
It's still 30,000.
It's not much.
Yeah, it's not the typical Mania crowd
But
these days.
that stadium that we're talking about, though, when they were having those first few, events and stuff, it was bare. It was really bare. And then they decided, well, I guess we better put people on the floor. Well, duh. But we've only got about 2.5 minutes on the radio side of things going on. Real quick, and we'll jump deeper into it on the other side after we get off the air on the radio side. But last night's men's Royal Rumble, 30-man Royal Rumble match for a World Championship match at WrestleMania 42 this year, which will take place in Las Vegas. Roman Reigns again, coming out for the second time in his career, winning the Royal Rumble. But again, he's going to be fighting in the main event at WrestleMania. Ben Simon, are you tired of Roman Reigns?
No, not at all. I was surprised. I was surprised that he won. But Roman. So, like I said, it's been a while since I've regularly watched Raw. Like I haven't regularly watched Raw since the USA Network days in 2014.
He hasn't been around all that much.
I didn't think so. So I didn't know if he'd been overexposed to like the typical fan. But
it's been since Survivor Series. The War Games match was the last time that we saw Roman Reigns.
I'm excited for this. Roman Reigns, I love the long dominant title runs because that's how you build legacy.
Absolutely.
And legends. Even though you might like Luthez used to drive people crazy, he was a champion all the time. But and so did Flair and so did Roman. But I am excited to see what he can still do. You got to think he might be entering the twilight of his career, so he's going to make it count. But I was surprised to see him yet again, for the second time, win the Royal Rumble.
Very cool. We've got about 30 seconds left on the radio side of stuff. Superfan, thank you so much for everything that you do to help with this show. I appreciate you. H.D. Daniels, our resident referee, wherever he may be
He's
at this
sleeping.
particular moment. I thank him as well. Ben Simon, thank you so much for coming on the radio with us and talking everything wrestling that's going on with the Royal Rumble. Stick around. We're going to continue on the Facebook and YouTube for a little bit because we're going to talk more about this men's Royal Rumble that happened last night. A lot of stuff, a lot of awesome stuff that went on. So for Superfan, for Ben, for H.T. Daniels, I am Sarge saying thank you so much for listening to Uncensored Wrestling Talk right here on News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO. And until next Sunday, go watch some wrestling.
A fight in Congress and a partial government shutdown.
All right.
America does not support ICE terror.
So now for our Facebook and our YouTube crowd real quick, before we do end everything, let's talk a little bit more about this Royal Rumble, because entering very first, Oba Femi coming out. I was excited about this. I don't know about you guys, but I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for him to be brought up to the main roster as well. And finally, he shows up and he lasts over 39 minutes in the Royal Rumble.
Well, you're talking main roster, but I don't think it's defined clearly where he's going yet.
It's unaffiliated.
And so everybody better watch out.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because I've got it up on Wikipedia right now for the entrance and stuff. And it shows, which show that they're with and all that kind of stuff. And it actually literally says unaffiliated for Oba Femi. So we still don't know. We won't know probably for a while before, where he's going to end up going.
It's important to note, he never lost the NXT championship.
It's true.
And like some people, they do the honors. They go out on their back when they go to another brand, another company. They move up. But Oba Femi did not ever relinquish such dominance. This might be like a contender to Gunther, in short order.
For sure. And I don't want to see it right away. I want this to brew for a while. But I definitely want to see Gunther versus Oba Femi.
Yeah, but to me, the first match I can see this as a WrestleMania match. Oba Femi, Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Who is going to be
They had a little bit of a confrontation in the ring during the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
And, for me, it left me wanting more between them two. It's going to be interesting to see if we end up getting to see that or not. Because it wouldn't surprise me if we never get to see that.
Right.
As far as the way that WWE does things these days. But number 2.
Let's talk about it.
Braun Breaker coming down, and just as he's about to get to the ring, he gets attacked. I mean attacked.
I didn't realize
by a person in a mask.
Mulitalo made it over there that quick.
Hey, man.
All right, Braun Breaker was my pick to win.
Yeah, so was mine.
And he was eliminated
as well.
before number 3.
I was mad. I was madder than hell. But I'm going to say this right now. The person that attacked him in that black outfit with a black hood and a black mask, to me, it did not look like Seth Rollins.
No.
It's just me. Who the hell was it?
Austin Mulitalo.
It wasn't Austin Mulitalo. I'm pretty sure he was wrestling in the event last night himself. Here in the States. In fact, probably here in the state of Missouri.
Right. Probably in Tennessee. I think it was Tennessee.
Could have been. Either way, here
Yeah,
in the States.
His doppelganger.
Yeah, there was actually no event in Missouri last night. Okay, I digress. Let's go. I'm about to get on to something else.
Nah, you're good. But I'm really digging this vision, and now again the Black Mask dude is back. Now we saw that it was Austin Theory was the first guy, and
well, we don't know that for sure.
It was Austin Theory. He took his freaking mask off, fool. And I love Austin Theory being in the Vision, along with Logan Paul and Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. But first and foremost, my question is, what does this do to Braun Breaker and the picture and the WWE Championship picture?
It pushes him out of it.
Exactly. And I don't think he deserves to be pushed out of that right now.
No, I mean,
I'll be honest. The first Monday Night Raw of the year, when he went up against CM Punk, I was pissed. I was pissed that he lost against CM Punk.
Yeah.
I think he should have won that match. What do you think?
CM Punk. I mean, I could see it going either way. Braun Breaker will persevere. I think any estimates of Braun Breaker being pushed out of a title picture are an overestimate. He's still growing, which is scary. And this is in no way. I mean, Braun Breaker's got to be very frustrated being eliminated in that fashion from the Rumble. But I mean, the season is just beginning. We've still got the Elimination Chamber.
This is true.
And if it's not this year, it could be next year.
So he gets eliminated by Obafemi pretty much as soon as he gets into the ring because of the attack from the masked dude. Solo Sikoa coming in at number 3. I thought he had a good little fight with Obafemi to begin pretty much the Royal Rumble. Rey Mysterio coming in at number 4. Rusev coming in at number 5. How are you digging Rusev being back in the WWE?
I haven't seen him. I saw him at I knew he was coming back, but like I said, I don't really. I haven't been watching Raw consistently, but I heard that he wasn't really on Netflix anyway. He'd been kind of missing, and so it was cool to see Rusev, but he didn't last too long. In fact, I don't even think he made it to the next entrant.
32 seconds is how long he lasted. And of course, he was eliminated by Obafemi. In fact, after Obafemi, the first 4 entrants were all, and of course, it was different times, 2 minutes here, 3 minutes there, but Solo Sikoa, Rey Mysterio, and Rusev, and the next entrant after Rusev, Matt Cardona, formerly known as Zack Ryder, all of them got eliminated by Obafemi. And the wild thing about that is, if you look at all these times for all these guys coming in succession, being eliminated by Obafemi, 10 seconds, 51 seconds, 2 minutes and 43 seconds, 32 seconds, and 55 seconds, the time that they were in the match. That don't even add up to 6 minutes total. For all these guys, for 5 guys, that's crazy in my mind.
See, I was thinking, okay, here we go with the old Brock Lesnar. What did he eliminate? 13 in a row?
Something like that.
You know, and just stand there, wait for the next one. And I thought, oh, let's see this. But then they added more people, and I was just waiting for Brock to show up.
Yeah.
That was that legendary 2020 Rumble with Brock and the 13 eliminations.
Yep. Damian Priest coming in after Matt Cardona. Javon Evans, who lasted over 40 minutes, almost 41 minutes in that Royal Rumble yesterday. Man, that kid has got a huge career in front of him.
Yeah.
Huge. I really was impressed with his performance last night.
I was afraid he was going to bounce right over the top rope.
There was a few times I was worried about it too.
You know, ultimately, that's what happened. But no, yeah, he has to be happy with his performance.
For sure. From AAA, I don't know if maybe this might have been your first time seeing him on WWE, channels, Mr. Iguana.
Yeah, Mr. Iguana. Okay, that was I'm familiar with Mr. Iguana. Didn't think he was going all the way, and I was right in that prediction. But Mr. Iguana and what's his Iguana's name?
Oh, golly. You gonna put
It's
us
on the tip of my tongue.
He's put me on the
They
spot.
they both got choke slammed.
Right.
He and his Iguana. So that was the end of him.
They could have picked somebody better than Iguana.
I'm digging Trick Williams.
Yeah.
He came in right after Mr. Iguana. Cody Rhodes. Next to Braun Breaker, I kind of thought Cody Rhodes had a great shot of winning this Royal Rumble and going on and facing Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania 42. But by help from Drew McIntyre, he got eliminated last night.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, once Braun Breaker was gone, everybody, I'm sure all the channels went, all right, it's Cody again. It's Cody again. It's Cody again. Get him back in the title picture.
Cody lasted 36 minutes, almost 37 minutes, 36 minutes and 56 seconds. He lasted quite a long time in that match. El Grande Americano, followed by El Grande Americano.
I was seeing double.
The original El Grande.
Exactly.
I
That
didn't
was
understand
awesome to
that.
see.
I didn't realize there was more than one El Grande Americano.
You messing with us, Tim? Okay, I couldn't tell. I was like, we've got a special one over here. No,
We do have a special one over here. You're absolutely
all right. Yeah, the man who appears to possibly be the great Minnesotan Chad Gable, the original El Grande Americano. Good to see him back. And perhaps we'll see something similar to the Battle of the Sin Caras from a decade ago. Who will be the real Americano? Can't wait. Can't wait.
At number 14, formerly known as Powerhouse Hobbs in AEW, now going by the name of Royce Keys. Of course, he's unaffiliated. We don't know where he's going to go yet. Raw, SmackDown. If they put him in NXT, I'm going to riot. I'm going to riot.
What if they throw him in TNA?
You just want my blood boiling, don't you? I will go off on you.
Who would? Not me doing it.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes Royce Keys got to be in the Royal Rumble last night before he was eliminated by Bronson Reed. I thought, man, I was surprised. I was really surprised that he left AEW.
Yeah.
I thought I didn't realize that his contract was coming up that quick.
I mean, when it did, he was a trios champion.
Right.
Exactly.
And he still wrestled not under contract whenever they lost.
No. He when he wrestled, what happened was that Wednesday night Dynamite, they did Collision directly afterwards. And so it was a taped Collision that we saw that following Saturday. So his very last match was as the Trios champion, and they lost the belts.
Right.
So to Jet Speed and Hangman Adam Page.
Correct.
I thought it was interesting that when he entered, it was very clearly acknowledged that he was formerly known as Powerhouse Hobbs, which says, like, you know, either they couldn't come to an agreement on the sale of the name to WWE, be it WWE and Hobbs, or WWE just had no interest in the name but thought it was valuable to some extent, that it should be advertised before we do the switch, which is exactly what they did. And that's not something that you see often in WWE. It's kind of an all or nothing approach. You're either CM Punk and you've always been that name and you still are, or you're coming in with a completely new identity. And but this is kind of an in-between interesting thing.
Very, very cool stuff. And I was telling Superfan this morning, we were talking about his name choice. And Royce is the name of his son, So he's taken the name of his son, but I'm not sure where this Keys is coming from. I would rather, if he was going to take the name Royce, okay, fine, but call yourself Royce Hobbs.
Yeah.
Powerhouse Royce Hobbs. It's different than Powerhouse Hobbs. So, I don't know. We'll see how this name flies and how we feel about it in the next couple of months. Austin Theory coming in midway at number 15, followed by his Vision teammate, Bronson Reed, both lasting around about 10 minutes or so in this matchup. Ilya Dragunov, man, I tell you what, that dude, I am so impressed with Ilya Dragunov's work since he's come back from his injury.
Yeah, and the fact that they put the U.S. title on him and then took it off of him, I didn't like that. I think he should be a champion.
Are you still looking at YouTube? Real quick, before we continue on, a comment for you, Ben. Trisha McGarry Williams says, "You have no idea how special Tim is, Ben." Gotta love it.
I'll take your word for it.
Gotta love it.
Talking about the supremely intense Ilya Dragunov, I thought, besides Braun Breaker, he could be another dark horse to win it. Ilya Dragunov did lose the United States Championship, but assuming it was a fluke on to bigger and better things, what an opportunity for him. Didn't happen, only 11 minutes in the ring, but he's one of the best in the world right now.
Absolutely, yeah. I agree with you, 100%. 100%. Number 18, Triple A's La Parka.
Yuck.
Man.
Okay, look. This is where cultural differences come into play with character rights. The La Parka, he came out to the most mild reaction from the crowd you've ever heard. Our beloved original La Parka, now known as L.A. Park, he's in his 60s now, I think. He's last seen in Major League Wrestling. I might be retired. The original chairman, you know?
Right. That's right.
Well, he didn't own the character La Parka, you know, so he left and he changed his name slightly, and AAA owns the name La Parka and the character, and frankly, this is the third La Parka, and he's a younger guy, he's athletic, but I mean...
And it's the worst La Parka.
I guess it's acceptable in Mexico. We have a character in the U.S. that has been played by different wrestlers, and his name is Doink the Clown.
True.
And other than that, I can't think of anyone like that.
One, I believe, was the original.
Yeah.
Doink the Clown.
Yep. And
you mean there was more than one Doink?
Brooklyn. I'm not falling for it. Brooklyn Brawlers, Steve Lombardi, but and others too, but
several.
Yeah, but culturally, it's not something I agree with. I don't look at wrestling characters the same as we do Marvel or DC properties, and even though the law might disagree with me, I wanted this La Parka to be thrown out of the ring ASAP. And I don't want to see him again, but I will, I know.
Unfortunately, he did last nearly 4.5 minutes in the match. But thankfully, he was thrown out by both Austin Theory and Bronson Reed out on his head. Oh, maybe he broke his neck.
Oh, I don't. I just want the guy to wrestle as something different. Best to him.
Number 19, Dragon Lee, also thrown out by both Austin Theory and Bronson Reed. There was a lot of wrestlers in the Men's Royal Rumble last night that did not last very long at all once they got into the ring. Then Logan Paul coming in at number 20. Number 21, L.A. Knight, finally making his return back to WWE. Good to see that he's able to do some performing again. Number 22. Number 22 was really announced a couple of days, I think it was like Wednesday, maybe it was Thursday, on the Pat McAfee show on ESPN. While Pat McAfee is doing his show, he gets a phone call from none other than Brock Lesnar, and he says, I am on my way to the Royal Rumble.
Right.
Yeek. Yeek. When I heard that, when I heard that Brock Lesnar was going to the Royal Rumble, I thought, well, there goes Braun Breaker's chance.
Right.
There goes several other people's chance. Brock Lesnar's going to end up winning this stupid thing. And I also had the feeling that he'd probably come down with Paul Heyman, and that actually happened.
That happened.
But thank God, he only lasted 5.5 minutes, Ben.
Brock Lesnar is only a man, and he bleeds just like a man. And
true.
if you can avoid Brock Lesnar, here's the difference between Lesnar and Gunther, to me. And I use Gunther as an example of an unstoppable force. Lesnar has always proven that he is unstoppable until you get that first clean shot in. And then, once you rock him, it's time to get him out of there. In this Rumble, he only lasted about 5 minutes.
Yep. Very true. Would you be cool to see, do you want to see a match between Brock Lesnar and Gunther?
Yeah, let's do it.
I definitely, I so want to see that match, it's not even funny.
I would, and it better happen soon.
I want to see it at
younger.
WrestleMania.
Yeah. I mean, Lesnar's like 48 years old, right?
He's up there.
Yeah, he's had a real. Every time you think that he's done, he continues to dominate. But he needs to do it soon. I'd be all for Lesnar.
I just thought if it's a Gunther versus Brock Lesnar match and it's at WrestleMania,
Is it a retirement?
by God, it better be a career-threatening match. We'll see. We'll see what happens. The Miz coming in at number 23.
And when The Miz came in, I think Lesnar and Oba Femi were having a showdown, like a stare down.
Yep.
And here comes Miz, and he's like gonna get in the ring, and he's like, I think I'll wait.
I'll just wait on this for a moment.
Yeah.
Brock needs to go back under the rock. He crawled out from under, says Trisha McGarry Williams. Interesting. Ray Phoenix coming in at number 24. Number 25, Jay Uso coming in. Yeet for Jay Uso.
By the way, when he was yeeting, and everybody in the crowd was yeeting, no one saw Brock Lesnar get eliminated.
Exactly.
There was no reaction. Everyone missed it. Thankfully, the camera caught it, and we all saw it at home. But all the fans probably turned around and was like, "What? Are you serious?"
Oops.
Yeah. That's why we should ban that word and ban the movement.
Never. We will, even after it stops, we will never stop. We will never stop yeeting right here on Uncensored Wrestling Talk. Yeet. Roman Reigns coming in at number 26. And man, I was a little ticked off that he turned on Jey Uso like he did. And and right after he wanted the yeet to start back up again.
No, I mean, what was it? 3 months, 4 months ago, Roman said he's out for himself. He's going to right the ship and start with himself.
But he didn't have to do that right then and there. You're in a match, and at the point when Roman Reigns came in, I believe there was like 10 or 11 still competitors going on. Use Jey Uso. Use him to get rid of some of these other guys. You don't have to do it all by yourself, right? Nope. Bam! Man. Jacob Fatu coming in after Roman Reigns at number 27. And of course, he was in there for about nine minutes or so. He was eliminated by Roman Reigns. Penta being coming in at number 28. Randy Orton coming in at number 29, and then when Randy Orton came out, I was like, wow, that's a high number. That's a high number for Randy Orton to come out at. Maybe Orton's the one that's going to end up winning this one.
Always my emotional favorite, Randy Orton. I knew he was going to be in the Rumble, of course, and as the time was ticking on, I was like, oh, he's got a good spot. Look, Randy Orton is a two-time Royal Rumble winner, having done it in 2009 to face Triple H at Mania 25, and again in 2017 to head into Mania 33 to get a title shot. I think even in 2017, no one saw Randy Orton winning. So I can't count him out. But yeah, at this point in his career, it's a long shot. But yeah, I gotta go with Randy Orton.
But then, number 30, it is none other than the man that ended AJ Styles' career earlier in the night, Gunther. And when he showed up, I was like, there's your winner. There's your winner. He was a runner-up last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, maybe they're doing the same thing, because WWE is known for this. Whenever they've got a match for the men and the women, like War Games or one of those type of matches that the men and women are going to actually compete in, the same type of thing happens. Liv Morgan had been the runner-up for the last 2 years,
right,
and gets the win. Gunther was the runner-up last year. Had a really good showing the year before as well. And I was like, there's your winner. It's Gunther.
And you were wrong.
I was thankfully wrong. I was thankfully wrong. And of course, Gunther was last eliminated by Roman Reigns after being in for almost 8 minutes in that match. As a whole, I enjoyed the Men's Rumble from last night. What did you guys think of it as a whole?
As a whole, I liked it, but I thought the women's was better, personally.
Interesting.
I have no real complaints. I enjoyed both matches. And I think Roman winning is believable, and I can't wait to see what he does at this Mania when he sets a record or continues a record, depending on your perspective, for a WrestleMania main event.
Gosh, how many main events has he actually been in now?
I'd have to double check, but I mean, it's either tying or surpassing Hogan's. I mean, it depends on if you count like the day one WrestleMania main events or not. But I think I don't. but I can see why people would. Like it's like main event inflation. But I think it doesn't matter at this point if he's going to be truly in like the last match. But yeah, what a living legend Roman Reigns is. I think we should recognize that more. When people eventually came around with John Cena,
Not me. I think John Cena sucks still.
Boo him out of the building. But, and you're right.
Thank you, another one on the Sarge side.
Yeah, Roman Reigns is a living legend. And who knows, you guys think he can get another multiple-year title run before he goes?
I hope not.
I'm just curious now. Who do you guys think he decides to go ahead and go after? CM Punk or Drew McIntyre? Saying that these two are the ones that are going to be the champions at WrestleMania.
Funny thing about Roman Reigns is he's contracted on the SmackDown brand officially,
right. Mm-hmm.
but he's never on SmackDown. And I think he's been on Raw more, but not really that much at all. So it's really a toss-up. I have no idea, and I can see both happening.
There's a little bit of unfinished business, as it were, between him and CM Punk.
Right.
But then
he knows he could beat Drew McIntyre.
He's beaten Drew McIntyre in the past.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see who he ends up picking. But I don't want it to be like 3 or 4 weeks out from WrestleMania, and then he's finally saying, "Okay, this is what I'm going to do." I want to know now. I want this storyline to start right now. We've got a month and a half. basically. No, I'm sorry, 2 months.
Right.
Two and a half months.
Well, based on recent history, the past few years, the winner of the Rumble makes their intentions clear before Elimination Chamber, which this year I think is February 21st.
Something like that.
In Chicago. And because they want to know, WWE has to know, who is the winner of the Elimination Chamber going to get? You can't have two uncertain coupon holders, so to speak, We got to know what the prize is for this. So I would say we will know very soon.
And of course, in February, Elimination Chamber, whomever he does not pick, that traditionally the winner of that will go up against the other champion. Let's say, for argument's sake, he goes ahead and picks CM Punk to go up against. Who would you like to see face Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania 42 for the WWE Championship?
Jacob Fatu.
Jacob Fatu. Interesting. Ben?
It might sound lame, but Cody Rhodes.
See, I'm going to make a wild prediction. I think that Roman Reigns does go and say, CM Punk, I'm facing you. Elimination Chamber comes around. And we've got a whole bunch of different competitors in that. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4 pods and 2 that start off the match. So 6 competitors. 2 of those competitors in that match will be Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu. Maybe Sami Zayn and Randy Orton and a couple of other folks maybe. But I think the ending of that match will be a double pin with Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu, which means we get a triple threat at WrestleMania.
Ugh. My eyes could not roll harder, Sarge.
But the WWE is gonna do something crazy.
When we were all much younger,
right,
and there was a quote, double pin, what did the referee do? He stopped counting. Because that's not a pin. I don't know when this double pin garbage started. It's so cheap. What a cheap way to get to a...
Hey, Steve Daniels, where the hell are you when we need you?
He hates them too, and I'll tell you what, it makes me so mad. But yeah, I mean, I guess it could happen. But the crowd in Chicago would not be happy. Here's another thing that I don't know if you guys caught, but on... WWE on the what was it? Was it the countdown show or the kickoff or something? But Drew McIntyre responded to or basically called out CM Punk, not directly, kind of like a soft thing, kind of Kyle Fletcher on the stage on Collision kind of thing, and CM Punk replied in another interview, I don't have much to say to Drew unless he wants to do a champion versus champion match. Look, in WWE land, I don't know if this is canon or not, but you shouldn't tease a champion versus champion unless it's going to happen. And they put themselves in that course just a little bit, so there's another fork in the road.
And you said that you didn't watch the post show, right?
Correct.
I got news for you.
What happened?
Roman Reigns again threw out the name of CM Punk.
There you go. It's decided. That's
We'll
it.
see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. What are we going to do? A fatal 5-way? Make it Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Jacob Fatu, Cody Rhodes, and Drew McIntyre all inside the steel cage. And if Punk gets pinned, he loses his championship. If McIntyre gets pinned, he loses his championship.
Clown match. I call that a clown match. No clown matches.
Before we get out of here, Superfan, AEW, anything you want to talk about from AEW?
Just the brewing number of people that are going after MJF. There's
a lot.
I'm excited to see how this whole thing shakes out next week. Or seeing who's going to be facing him come the Australia trip.
Well, he's facing Brody King
Next week
coming
in
up on
Eliminator.
Wednesday. And the Eliminator match. Which I hate Eliminator matches. Just put the damn title on the line.
Right.
But I think Brody King wins.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then goes on to Australia for that Grand Slam, whatever.
I think Brody King wins and we see Buddy Matthews return in Australia.
It's possible. That's possible. That's possible. And maybe turns on Brody King.
Yep.
That's possible. What are your thoughts on MJF?
Well, we're not on the air anymore.
Not on the radio, so you can say whatever you want on Facebook and YouTube.
What an ass!
What an
No,
ass.
he's yeah. I mean, he's the gall of a man to come back from the nation of Turkey and with a fresh hair transplant and give someone else trouble about their receding hairline in the ring. That was quite something. What a champ. He's not a fighting champ, and he won't try to convince you he is. But you're going to have to force that man in the ring to defend his title. Interesting to see who he will be taking on coming up. I have more of a general request for AEW.
Okay.
And I want to see Hangman Adam Page versus Kazuchika Okada in some form or fashion for one reason or another. You don't have to roll them out on a random show. I just want a build to that because I want to see those two go one-on-one. Those are two guys I want to see in the ring who are under contract to the same wrestling company, and it hasn't happened in a significant fashion. Let's do it.
I hear you. I agree with you.
Seemingly random,
100%.
but since you asked, that's what I want. That's my
100%.
Christmas wish.
Hey, before we do get out of here, Ben, thank you again so much for coming in and being part of the show today. Is there anything more that you want to speak on that's going on in the world of professional wrestling?
Man, I love me some Glory Pro Wrestling. I love me some World League Wrestling. We had a great time at Glory Pro Wrestling on Friday night at the pageant in St. Louis. We had a great crowd turnout for that, 280 strong.
From what I understand, the first time they've been back to the pageant in a little while.
Yes, since like 23. And we didn't have plans to go back, but the event at Del Mar Hall next door got canceled because of the snow on the 24th. And so when we went there on Friday night, everybody was very, very excited. Everything went great. There were no injuries. We had a spat of injuries there, unfortunately. But the main event was very entertaining. Three-way match with Cody Lane retaining against the returning Mike Outlaw, who's very impressive, and Raheem De La Suede, who almost became the Crown of Glory champion, if you can believe that. So
his head would have gotten even bigger.
Yes. Big things happening in both companies, Glory Pro and World League Wrestling. And Glory Pro is gearing up for its 9th anniversary. It's not exactly 26, but 9th anniversary.
Hey, it's still pretty good.
Yes, at the Casa Loma Ballroom on February 22nd. So it's going to be a blast, and I'm having a great time with local wrestling.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Again, thank you so much, Ben. I appreciate you. I love you, man.
Same here. Love you too.
I definitely want to have you back as soon as possible, as when you can. And then maybe the next time HD Daniels will be able to show up and you'll get the full effect of the show with HD Daniels here. But it's such an honor to sit next to you, talk to you. And I know how hard of a job it is to be a ring announcer. And man, you do it like it's easy peasy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you are so
It's second
good on the
nature to you
mic.
out there.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. I like it. I like it. But again, thank you so much. I do appreciate you and everything that you do. And if there's wrestling going on in the St. Louis area, the marquee says ring announcer Ben Simon.
That's not true. But I am working some of them, yes. If the marquee said ring announcer Ben Simon, I'd say, what are you smoking, Mr. Promoter? What is happening?
Well, it should say
No, thank you.
ring announcer extraordinaire, Ben Simon. Real quick before we get out of here, I know that you're also really big in the chess world as well. Anything major going on that side of stuff?
Not in St. Louis. We're kind of like in our off season at the St. Louis Chess Club. For anyone local, if you want to play some chess, come on down to the Central West End in the city of St. Louis, and we got the world's biggest and best chess club there, probably outside of Moscow. You can visit the World Chess Hall of Fame with Big Chess Piece. We have locals tournaments all the time. It's just like the really big invitation world championship events. Like it's kind of nothing until March. But we need some off time, so that's cool. But yeah, there's lectures all the time and everything. StLouisChessClub.org. Appreciate the opportunity for the shout out. But yeah, shoot me a message and I'll be there. I'll say hello.
And with that being said, how can the fans see what you're doing? Do you have anything special like an Instagram, Twitter, all that kind of stuff?
I'm on Twitter, The Ben Simon. I'm on Blue Sky, The Ben Simon. I'm on Facebook, but it's just a personal page. I have a website, bensimonmedia.com, but I'm not consistently like putting out like content. Maybe I should.
You should.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely should.
Every time I try, I don't know. I don't do it consistently enough to gain traction. And but yeah, it's on and off again.
If you're in the St. Louis area, make sure you go and see some of these awesome indie shows that are going on around the city.
Oh,
more than likely you'll see Ben Simon, the ring announcer, doing the ring announcing for all these different awesome organizations. What were you going to say?
By the way, my website, stlouiswrestling.com, SAINT spelled out. The landing page there has a Google Calendar, and that Google Calendar has a completely unbiased, unpolitical, non-promotional, partisan calendar listing of every single wrestling event in the metro area, from Centralia to Sullivan to Campsville, everywhere.
All points in between.
You will see everything Missouri and Illinois, and I try to put prices for general admission on there, event start times. It's not always perfect, but it's usually very accurate. So check it out, stlouiswrestling.com. I don't make any money doing it, but it's just a resource that no one else is doing, so I put it up there.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's very, very cool. Very, very cool. With that being said, again, thank you so much, Ben. We appreciate you. We got to have you back on again sometime soon. Superfan, thank you again. HD Daniels, we missed you. Hopefully, maybe, I doubt it, next weekend. Maybe, but for sure in 2 weeks, we'll have him back in the studio with us. And with that being said, hey, thank you all for watching here on Uncensored Wrestling Talk. And we're going to go ahead and jump on out. Until next Sunday, as I always say, go watch some wrestling.